Welcome to the CEO's blog for this week, and as usual we'll start with where we are with COVID. This week, members of the COVID management group met with the Office of Racing and New South Wales Health. What we met about was to try to develop a plan so that we can increase the number of people we have on track, especially leading up to Christmas. We have to come up with a plan that satisfies New South Wales Health. So Maurice Logue will be working with Danny Dwyer in particular to map out how we can socially distance on a racetrack. Should be easy. Hopefully we'll get it through, and come the Shirley Turnbull Memorial, we'll have a very big crowd on course on Boxing Night. Late last week, Chairman Ken Brown and myself had an opportunity to meet with Minister Anderson. We were able to discuss where we are, harness racing, in the COVID turmoil, and where we can certainly get government support. Kevin was very open to it, as were his officers, and we will progress these things, and hopefully we'll see more come out of it. Kevin will be part of the Breeders' Challenge celebrations at Tabcorp Park Menangle this Saturday. Whilst we are in a COVID-safe environment, it's great to see that he will be out there officiating with making a presentation for one of the races. So we thank the Minister for everything he does. We thank the Minister for coming along to our race meetings, and we always thank the government for what they're doing for racing throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. Finally, it is here, the culmination of the postponed Breeders' Challenge Major Series. This Saturday night at Menangle, we will see some outstanding races. But not only will we see the paces, of course we'll have the Trots New South Wales finals. In that respect, I thank those trainers of those trotters who have persevered, and even though we have a small field in the 2-year-old race, it is showing that Harness Racing New South Wales is supporting the trotters. It is showing that the people with the trotters are supporting the Trots New South Wales concept. So as we take this forward into next year, we hope we see even more participation in these areas. Meanwhile, Success Stud have been out there with a beautiful video shot by Amy Rees to show how good things are in New South Wales. The pastures are green, and also Jackie Gibson sent in a wonderful photo of a beautiful filly down by the seaside, assisted to Private Eye, who will be contesting the 2-year-old Colson Geldings race on Saturday night. This is a race we've been waiting for since the series kicked off in September, as are the other 3 finals. So if you can't make it to Menangle Park, where we do actually have a capacity crowd, watch the races on Sky One. The extended coverage that we're being offered by Sky is really well worth taking in, and if you have got the TAB Active, have a look at it there as well. Interviews with drivers post-race, interviews with drivers and trainers pre-race. Everything is there for you to see, and enjoy the Breeders' Challenge finals from Tabcorp Park Menangle this Saturday night. As we move into our highlights of the week segment, we start with Newcastle last Friday evening, where Kerry Ann and Robbie Morris landed a double with Artemis and Yucko, with Alex Smith and Russell Woods sharing in the ownership of both horses.
La LeBron coming hard at Yuko. Yuko trying to repel the challenge. Yuko just in front. Yuko the favourite will scramble in.
Whilst Craig Cross trained 5 winners at Tabcorp Park Menangle on Saturday, all focus was on the semi-finals of the 3-year-old Breeders' Challenge. Victories went to Private Eye, Adira, Our Money Rocks and Keep Rockin'. West Wyalong kicked off the TAB Carnival of Cups on Sunday with the main race, the West Wyalong Services and Citizens Club Cup. It was won by Major Roll for Steve Maguire. The Cup marked 33 years of sponsorship by the Services and Citizens Club and was telecast on Sky One. Justin Reynolds landed a double with Delightful Me and Why Not Surf at the meeting.
And then Golden Year in front, Major Roll. He's hanging on from Canina Problem, a Firestorm Red late, but Major Roll won the Cup.
At Canberra on Monday night, Kerry McDowell and Ellen Rickson combined for a double with Picasso and Better Sensation. Ellen also finished second in 2 other races. To continue the dominance of our female participants, Melissa Hawke won with The Talk, whilst Taylor Osmond won her first race driving To Be Feared.
Rallying yet again, To Be Feared, and also Jojo Zip. They reached the line. Geez, it's a camera between Jojo Zip and 2B Feared. I'm not sure. Joe Powell will be third. Jillaby Monkey fourth.
Taylor is a graduate of the mini trot movement, and at 16 years of age, Taylor is not old enough to have a motor vehicle licence, with her mother and father conveying Taylor to all race meetings. Kerry McDowell continued her winning ways at Tabcorp Park Menangle on Tuesday, with Anasis driven by Colin McDowell at good odds of 20-1. Jimmy Douglas landed a double at the meeting on Everybody Loved Ray and Total Diva.
And Total Diva will beat Arden Messi, flashing home out wide.
David Kennedy and Jackson Painting landed a double at Albury, with 3-year-old fillies Silent Rapture and Hortensio, whilst the Mountain continued on his winning way for Brett Woodhouse. The Mountain is by Warrawee Needy, which stands at Yirrabee Stud. So if you haven't selected a stallion for your mare this year, why don't you look at this fine stallion?
It's the Mountain ahead in front. He won't put away Flaneur, but he'll just get it done. The Mountain beat Flaneur by a neck.
And to close at Bathurst on Wednesday night, the winners were shared across every race.
Yumchar just with a head in front on the outside, and Yumchar too tough. Yumchar won it. Beat Mendoza Lass, who was brave. Photo third, Armour Miss, or He Said, She Said.
The New South Wales Owners Association members bonus races continue this week at Newcastle, Parkes and Bathurst. If you're a member of the association, you should be starting your horses in these races, where you can win a $750 credit from Australian Pacing Gold, $500 from the Owners Association, and if your horse is just in the race, you'll receive $100. Yes, the big prize is in winning the races, but the great prize is in being a member of the New South Wales Owners Association. November will be Racing for Prostate Cancer Research Month at Tabcorp Park Menangle, supported by Club Menangle, the TAB and Harness Racing New South Wales. For every race at Tabcorp Park Menangle during November, if horse 4 figures in the placings, Prostate Cancer Research will receive $750 for first place, $380 for second place, and $180 for third place. The drivers of horse 4 will carry the special Prostate Cancer Research blue colours. As we know, foaling season is all around us. Barry Allen sent in these photos of fillies he has bred by Colonial Stallions, taking advantage of the incentives offered by Harness Racing New South Wales to breeders. The first is an Alta Cristiano from another Wahine, whilst the second is by For a Reason out of Willie Wahine. The New South Wales Rehoming Company featured on In the Gig this week when board member Michael Brown introduced some vision, beautiful vision, shot by Amy Rees to promote the ideals of the Rehoming Company. The rehoming of our standard breds is very important to the future of harness racing in New South Wales, and the work being undertaken by the board members who represent the industry kindred bodies is very impressive, as this vision shows.
The standard breds of the harness racing industry provide connections with so much joy and excitement throughout their racing careers, and thanks to Baroota Park Equine, these horses have a place to go when their careers on the track come to an end. Alexandria Nagy and her fiancé Lee Cragg have turned their love for horses into a successful business that provides retired racehorses with a safe haven to live out the rest of their lives.
Baroota Park's about 4 years old. It started out as a change of pace, and that was purely standard breds that were directly off the racetrack, and I did that myself for about 5 years. And then in the last 4 years we decided to incorporate standard breds and quarter horses under the same umbrella and put them through the exact same program, and that a change of pace name no longer suited, so Baroota Park is the name of our property, and Baroota Park Equine was born. So harness racing horses started with us about 9 years ago. We've had nearly 300 through the gates, and in the last 12 months we've started to hit brand them, much like all of the quarter horses, because we think that they do all the same stuff at the end of the day, and they're just as valuable.
Through social media and word of mouth, Alex and Lee have created a name for themselves within the Bathurst Harness Racing District, with many local trainers sending their horses to Baroota Park to be retrained and rehomed.
So we get them into the round pen initially, and I'll just start doing some ground leadership stuff, sort of like pretty much like natural horsemanship sort of exercises, get them sort of used to me and getting them thinking and getting them respectful and all that, and then transition that into getting a saddle on them, and saddling for them is just nothing compared to what you guys have done with them, like being gigged up and harnessed up and all that for the pacing sort of side of things. So the saddle goes on them, I'll get Alex generally to help me with the first ride, just to, just in case anything happens, or to get them going forward. Because obviously, being behind them, which you guys do, to being on top of their back. So get that sort of happening the first couple of rides. Just get our cues and our steering. And steering's exactly the same as what you guys do, but we add leg as well. So direct rein and opposite leg. Once they're pretty good in the round pen, we transition that into the arena for a few rides, and then generally speaking from that it's pretty seamless straight out into the paddock, and just get them sort of exposed to different things that they might encounter on a trail ride for when we do eventually move them on to their generally forever homes. So, yeah.
One of Baroota Park's graduates, Eclipse, was once known as Bacchus Raucus on the racetrack. The black gelding won 8 races for his connections before trainer Josh Turnbull decided it was time for him to move on to the next stage of his life.
Bacchus Raucus moved up with 50 left to go. Bacchus Raucus hit the front from Wrangler Duke, and the favourite's going to be too good. Bacchus Raucus by a length, the Wrangler Duke, 13 hits a showdown, and Trunky Emily got home for 4th.
So we got Eclipse off the track. He had a pretty good race career, and he came off the track and he came here for 6 weeks. And one of our volunteers fell madly in love with this jet black horse, and he was notoriously hard to catch. By the end of her 3-month stay with us over the school holiday break, she just finished school, she had this horse waiting for her. She rode him in the rain, and she rode him there back in the dam, and she'd stand up on his back and through the pine forest, and over she wanted Eclipse to do. He did it 100% for her. So he wasn't actually, he wasn't supposed to be for her. She was working him so that he could be sold. He did get sold, and she was devastated. But after about a year, the family's circumstances changed, and she was in a good position to be able to purchase him, and she's now got him. He is her horse, and he will never leave her, and she just absolutely adores him.
These success stories are what Lee and Alex love most about what they do.
I like to see the progress that the horses make coming from being on the track to their ridden careers, and then just as much I like to see the follow-up, success stories and photos and videos that new owners send us like daily. We've got an owners club where all our horses go after they've gone through us, and these generally speaking, they're 95% of them are women. Just post all their stories and what they got up to and all that sort of stuff on there. It's really rewarding to see those horses after they've finished up, going through and having a pretty cruisy sort of life, I reckon, compared to the rigours of being put through the racing sort of stuff. So yeah, that's good.
I have 2 favourite bits. I think my first favourite bit is the moment that they show up and you go, who are you? How much have you won? What is your story? Where have you been for the last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years? And just really being excited for what we know we can do for them. And my second favourite bit is when somebody shows up at the end of that 6 weeks and they go, that's my horse. And you know that everything that you've done, all the man hours that have gone in, they're all totally worth it.
Yeah, 100%.
Saturday night, Breeders' Challenge Night, also marks the 10th anniversary of the JC Cathern Plate. All thanks go out to Kari, the wonderful sponsors of this event, but more importantly to Michael Brown and Jimmy Brown, who have been the driving force behind this race. This year it's slightly different because of the COVID pandemic. However, we've got some wonderful drivers competing and really recognising our Indigenous participants in harness racing. So take the race in, see part of what the ceremony is. Uncle Ivan Wellington will be there performing the smoking ceremony and the welcome to country. Be respectful of everything we do in this country, and we're very appreciative of what we're doing with the Indigenous Driver Series. Also this Saturday on Breeders' Challenge and Trots New South Wales Finals Night, we have the Rising Stars Championship. This year it's a single race, and that's unfortunate, but that's what COVID did to us this time round. I congratulate all the young drivers who are competing this year. I wish you all the best of luck, and we will crown a champion at the end of the race. Good luck with it. Hope you do well. Hope your horses do well. And thank you very much for participating in this Rising Stars Championship. And to close, don't miss the wonderful coverage on Sky this weekend, this Saturday night from Tabcorp Park, Menangle, when we conduct the Breeders' Challenge Finals and the Trots New South Wales Finals. These are wonderful races. They are the ultimate goal of breeders and owners here in New South Wales, of New South Wales bred stock. I wish the best of racing luck to all the owners, all the trainers, all the drivers on behalf of the board and management of Harness Racing New South Wales. There will be winners, there will be competitors, but the one thing there really will be, no losers in this wonderful event. So good luck with the racing, and I'll see you next week.